pastor at Victory Church at the Edmond campus. Been youth pastor for a little over a year.
Yeah, dude.
And is something that I think is really cool. I'm excited about it because my daughter gets to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So one of the big questions in youth ministry is always, how do you transition fifth graders into the youth ministry?
Yep, dude.
Super tough.
Uh-huh.
And one that I know a lot of people have questions about. And so you guys are trying something new this year.
For the first time.
So talk about what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So for the first time, we've always been big on this idea, like we do promotion Sundays and everything, to where it's like we celebrate them as a church on Sunday mornings. But then Wednesday, it's like they're kind of just thrusted in, like kind of trial by fire, if you will.
Yeah.
And they'll come in bright-eyed.
You make it.
Yeah.
If not,
we're gonna see who survives the first night, kind of mentality, where all of a sudden it's like these intense youth group games, high schoolers everywhere, like going nuts.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they just have that wide-eyed look of, oh my gosh.
It's the perfect night to talk about purity.
Oh yeah, 100%, like really in-depth stuff. Really in-depth. And so one thing we kind of felt like was huge for us was whenever we had that fifth grade class coming in, and we have a group coming in now, was really making them feel welcome. And like, because the transition from kids to youth can be scary. Like, this is the first time they're like, wait a minute, you guys don't do videos for 10 minutes and like have choreographed dances to it?
Yeah, right.
Like, what do you mean your worship's that last 30 minutes and there's no explosions during the sermon?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And so one thing we wanted to do to kind of just help make that transition period a lot smoother, because we believe in partnering with kids. Like, kids is just as much a part of youth. It's next gen as a whole. And so I sat down with our kids pastor here, and we were just talking through it. We're just like, hey, how do we make this a smoother transition? And so one idea we came up with was just a promotion Wednesday. And so super easy name title. We had parents register, and like we're having kids register right now. And what we're going to do, we're just going to celebrate them. And so we almost make it kind of like an open house feel that, hey, come to youth, check it out. It's their first time. We're going to make them feel super welcomed. We're doing like individual gift boxes for them, like a custom t-shirt that only they will get. Nobody else will get. We're never going to sell it or remake it. Only the fifth graders. And I'm so mad because it turned out to be one of my favorite designs yet. And so here I am not being able to sell it. Right? I know, dude. Like, I'm not going to lie. I did order one for myself. Not going to lie. I did order one. And so to do that and just kind of give them a chance to hear culture, hear DNA, hear vision, and even get in the parents. Because we're big believers that the relationship between parents and youth ministry is vitally important. That it doesn't essentially happen without that relationship almost. And so this is a time where we get to invest in the parents, celebrate the kids, give them resources like, hey, if you need this, like, here's a bunch of our resources that we give out to every parent. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Like, if you have questions, and almost make them overly welcomed to the point where it's like, oh, we feel comfortable here already.
Yep.
Like, we know we're celebrated. We know we're loved. And that's our biggest thing, because we don't want them to necessarily come in, have that wide-eyed look of, oh my gosh, this is too much.
Yep.
And so partnering with parents, partnering with like the kids ministry, and just making it a super fun night, man. Making a night where they feel welcome, they feel loved and cherished, and we're happy they're here.
Yep. Okay, so as a parent, I know that you've sent out emails to us a few weeks, even a month ahead of time, saying, hey, this is what's happening. And then I know we've been given information through our student as well. But talk about that parent meeting, because you're having a parent meeting before, right? So what does that look like? When is that happening? What does that look like? And
so it'll be on a Wednesday night, and we kind of couple it. We had a parent night early in the year, and it's almost the same mentality as that. So if you have any kind of a parent night, it's almost the same kind of viewpoint as that. And so how we structured it is, hey, get here at 6. We're going to feed you dinner. We open doors at 6:50. So we're going to feed them dinner. They're going to hang out for a little bit, and there's students invited as well. And so we're feeding them that entire night. And then we go into a brief kind of, I want to say, section of our campus pastor, Pastor Wade, will get up. He'll explain the heart, like why we value Next Gen so much. Why is this so important? What's happening in this room? Why is it drastically needed in the church? And then it'll be a time for myself and our kids pastor, Pastor Philip, to get up and share kind of the culture and DNA and vision of like why we value this and like why we love Next Gen and like the purpose behind it. And so we'll go into a time to where it's basically some brief sharing. And our biggest thing is we want to connect parents to parents. And so we have a volunteer who acts as almost a parent liaison, if you will. Super fancy word. She just connects really, really well with parents, and all the parents know her already. And so we give a time to create relationship with other parents So that way families don't feel like they're stepping into this alone. Yeah. And so we'll do like some mixer minglers here and there. It's like classic youth ministry games that gets everyone out of their seat. The classic icebreakers, like what is it? Bear man gun, like just crazy stuff like that, just to have some fun with the parents, get them connected. And ultimately it just establishes relationship with them, that they get to hear the vision. They get to hear the culture. They hear what's going on ahead of time. Yep. And then it almost invites an open door to where it's like, hey, if you need us, we're here. Okay. And that speaks volumes. We'll send out resources to them, like our access program. We're hopefully launching at that, and just give them a ton of resources to where that way it establishes a really, really good connection and partnership with parents.
Okay. So after that parent meeting, do those parents stay and attend the service? Yeah,
I totally forgot. I literally stopped after the meeting. No, so after the meeting, we invite them to come sit in for service. They get to see what it's like for the first time. So we'll set up a whole entire little parent section for them, usually just in the back of the room. And they love getting to see it. They love getting to see students leading worship, see the students, how they interact, and just hear the entire sermon message. We even invite them to the after party. And we always do a short little Q&A right after, to where it's like, hey, you've seen it. What questions do you have now? And that really opens the floor up for like, hey, this has been in the back of my mind. I haven't known how to ask you this, but now you're presenting an opportunity for me to feel comfortable to ask this. Yep. And so it's like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And so, yeah.
Okay. So you guys also on Sunday mornings offer something that's a little bit unique for the fifth graders as well.
Yes. And so one thing we've always done, and this is a year-round thing, we have Sunday morning small groups. We are middle school only at that, but we invite the fifth graders to join in. And that creates a really, really smooth, I want to say not seamless, but smooth transition, because they're getting a little bit more acquainted with kind of the differences versus kids and youth. And they're getting to spend time with us. Like that's the biggest thing. They know people because they're meeting sixth graders, seventh graders, eighth graders, that whenever they promote up on a Wednesday night, it's like, oh, I already have friends. Like I already know people here. And so what we've seen is a lot of like fifth graders connecting with sixth graders. And then all of a sudden it creates that excitement of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be in youth. Yeah. Because like my friend X, Y, and Z are all already in youth.
For sure.
And like I get to hang out with them the second I like joined. And we're seeing even like little siblings who are like, I'm so upset because you get to be in youth and I'm not in youth yet. Yeah. And so it kind of creates that excitement. It creates a lot of relationship because our middle school Sunday morning small groups is a lot of relational driven. It's short teachings, but we're going to do a lot of highly relational stuff. Cool. And so it kind of creates that excitement of, oh, if this is a small taste of youth, I can't wait to see what youth is like whenever I get to go on Wednesdays.
Okay. So all year round, fifth graders can join the Sunday morning small groups. Yep. Which pragmatically that looks like they attend worship with the adults, right? And then as soon as worship is done, they head out into a separate room and you guys go through a teaching small group discussion time. Okay, so all year they do that. And then is there a specific time when that promotion happens each year in the summer?
Yeah, so we're always big on August. August 1st or first week in August is always our big promotion. And usually, or sorry, not August, June. I have my dates all mixed up. Beginning of June.
So beginning of
June, beginning of summer is our biggest promotion time. Because that also opens the door to where some of them are going to camp now. Some of them have signed up for camp because we open camp for incoming sixth graders.
So you allow incoming sixth graders to go to your youth summer camp.
Yep. And so incoming sixth graders, because the camp we go to, it's just, hey, whatever like age group they're going into is when like we allow it. So if they're coming into sixth grade, they can come to camp. Okay. And so it pushes big for camp. It's kind of just, it's that natural season of youth ministry where there's a lot of fun stuff going on. We're wrapping up the end of the school year. We're heading into summer, big summer kickoffs, and just transition wise, it works out really well. And on top of it, we put on our own kids camp at Victory every single year. And so one of the cool things that you always see is sometimes these kids do double headers to where they're still allowed to be in kids camp, but they're also allowed to go to youth camp. Yeah. And so for a 2-week span, because kids camp is always either right before or right after. So for a 2-week period, they are just like the Walking Dead, like zombified, because they just got done with kids camp, which ended on like a Friday. Turn around Monday, they're going to a week-long youth camp. And so it presents a lot of cool opportunities because that summer kickoff, kind of having that fun summer discipleship trend of youth ministry to where it seems like, hey, we're going to get really, really in depth, but we're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah. It presents a lot of just really cool opportunities there.
That's cool. All right. So let's get super in depth here. take us back, man.
Oh, Lord.
Take us. What is inside that box that you're giving out? You said the T-shirt
inside the box. I don't know if I can give out all the content.
You can't give it all out?
I don't know if I can give it all out because it's a surprise. They don't know about it yet.
All right. Okay.
And I feel like, it's so we do it always super low key. And this one, it being the first one, because this is the first time we've done this event, we decided to kind of show up and show off a little bit. And we have a really big incoming 5th grade class where I think we pulled a list on Planning Center. It was like 40.
Yeah.
And so massive incoming class. And so what we decided to do is we're big on T-shirts. We have a student-led like graphic design team, all of that, and we love dropping merch. And so our first thought was, hey, if we gave them a custom piece that only they're going to get, how cool would that be? And on top of it, they're going to be wearing that shirt everywhere they go. So it's almost free promotion at the same time. Yeah. And so we made custom T-shirts for them. We're doing some handwritten notes from myself, from Pastor Philip, kind of just a mentality of, hey, like, I'm so honored that you were with us and kids the past couple of years. We're praying for you if you need anything. And then one, like, hey, we're so happy that you're here. Yep. Like, we're so ecstatic that you are here. We want you here. We want you to be here. And then, of course, just some small fillers, like a little bit of confetti, a little bit of chocolate, something to get the energy up, something to give some sugar. And that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it.
So good. So good. So for those, I know there's lots of ways of doing promotion Sundays or promotion Wednesdays, whatever like that. Where do you start if you don't really have a smooth system in place? What would you encourage someone to do just to get that ball going?
Yeah. Get with the kids pastor. Like, get with your kids pastor. I would say I'm extremely blessed because, like, having Philip as a friend, our kids pastor here, has been insane because the dude is wise beyond his years. He's incredibly smart, incredibly gifted. And so I would say connect with your kids pastor, man, is the biggest thing, and make that transition seamless. Because we took maybe a part of like a week, like I'd say the first part of a week, and just sat down and talked, how can we make this like seamless? How can we make this transition smooth? And hearing his ideas, me bringing some ideas to the table, and we just kind of ironed it out. Like, it sounds bad, but whiteboard sessions, I love them. And so that was our biggest thing. We just whiteboarded it. And so I was like, connect with your kids pastor, like get with your kids pastor, come up with a game plan. And it almost makes it easier because, 2 heads are better than one, the whole little cheesy quote saying. Yeah. And so, because they know what the 5th graders need, they know what they've been taught. And even it made that curriculum so much easier because the biggest thing sitting down of that, we ironed out, hey, they need to be reinstilled. Like, I don't want to say the basics, but the basics of like, what is the gospel? Like, what is the church? Like, who is Jesus? Why is worship important? Yeah. And that kind of instilled even our curriculum for that first month that they're in youth. And so I say the hugest thing, partner with your kids pastor. Yeah. Like, sit down, talk it out, iron it out, like work it out together.
Yeah. And as a parent who has a 5th grader going in, I'd say that, like that 5th grade class is a big deal because for parents, it's super scary to send your kid from kids to youth. Like, that's a huge jump, right? And for youth pastors, youth ministry for a long time. So let me share that again. It's scary as a parent to send your kid from kids to youth. Okay, it's scary. Yeah. But what that Sunday morning 5th grade class does is a little step.
It's a small step.
It's a small step. Yeah. They get used to that environment, right? And then going from that environment, which is junior high only, and you guys are combined on Wednesday nights, to go from that group to a combined group is much easier for us as parents because our 5th graders been with you for what is it, 8 months, 6 months, whatever it is, 7 months, 10 months, right? In that class. It's easier for us to make that jump because, okay, well, we already got used to our kid being with middle schoolers, right? And for her, we're at the point now where she's like, well, I want to be in youth on Wednesday nights because all my friends are there that I'm with on Sunday mornings. Right. So like she's making that transition where she, like you said, knows 6th, 7th, 8th graders. And now those are her friends because she's there on the Sundays. So now she's like, man, I want to be there on Wednesdays because those are my friends already. And so now her going on Wednesday night is not scary. It's not like this whole sea of brand new people she's never met before. She's already had 6, 8, 9, 10 months with these people to be friends with them and get to know them. And so I think that's been a game changer. I know some people have like a fifth, sixth grade class, that kind of thing, which kind of helps with that as well. But not everybody's has the space. I know one thing you guys here on this campus don't have enough rooms. Like you literally don't have enough rooms to have a fifth, sixth grade class, a seventh, eighth grade, or anything like that. You only have one room on a Sunday that you could use. And so I think it's great use to use, hey, let's have middle schoolers, but add in the fifth graders to jump in. But I think and that was talked through with the kids pastors as well.
Yeah.
So,
and so that was even birthed from a conversation with the previous youth pastor before me, sitting down with the kids pastor and talking through, hey, how do we make this smoother?
Yep.
And that was even a thought that was brought up then.
It's great. So I want to encourage you guys, think through this. There's lots of ways of doing it. I don't know that anyone has it perfect, but at least try something. But I think the biggest thing, takeaway from me, man, is working with your kids pastor to come up with a solution, come up with a path of handing the baton off, because two big times we lose people at fifth to sixth grade, and then graduation from high school. Two big times we lose students. And if we can make that a little less scary, a little less intimidating, I think we can keep people engaged a lot longer.
Yeah.
So Michael, Dan, thanks for what you're doing as a parent and as a friend. So thanks, guys. Keep watching, and we'll see you guys soon.